The mirror of possibility. Daniela sat at her desk, staring at the blinking cursor on her computer screen. The white space felt like a reflection of her life. Empty, waiting for something to fill it. But no matter how hard she tried, the words just wouldn't come. She was a writer, or at least she had been once. Back when the stories in her head flowed effortlessly, when the characters she created seemed to breathe on their own. But now the blank page felt more like a judgment, a reminder that she was stuck. She glanced at the clock. It was 4 p.m. and she hadn't written a single word today. She leaned back in her chair, running a hand through her messy hair. Her apartment was quiet except for the occasional hum of traffic outside. It had been this way for months. Days of silent struggle, nights filled with self-doubt. She had always dreamed of writing a novel, something that could inspire others the way the books she loved had inspired her. But now, the dream felt distant, like a vague memory of something she used to care about. The more she thought about it, the more she realized how far she'd drifted from that version of herself. Her phone buzzed. She picked it up, seeing a message from her best friend, Clara. Clara. Hey, how's the writing going? Daniela hesitated before typing her reply. Daniela. Same as always. Not much to show for it. Clara. Don't be too hard on yourself. You've got this. Take a break. We should grab coffee this weekend. Daniela stared at the screen, her finger hovering over the keyboard. She didn't want to sound like a failure, but how could she explain what had been happening to her? It wasn't just the writing. It was everything. She felt like she had lost her spark. She had heard it all before, the motivational quotes, the just keep going pep talks. But none of it felt real to her anymore. The dream seemed so far away, and she wondered if she had lost the drive to even try. With a sigh, she pushed the phone aside and looked out the window. The city was busy, full of life, full of possibility. But here she was, stuck in a loop of doubt and frustration, watching everyone else move forward while she stayed in place. The following morning, Daniela decided to take a walk. She needed some fresh air, a change of scenery, anything to shake the heaviness that had settled over her. She grabbed her jacket and headed out, her mind still clouded with questions. She wandered through the park, listening to the rustle of leaves underfoot, the distant chatter of people, the sound of children laughing. The world seemed so alive, and yet she felt like an outsider, disconnected, alone in her thoughts. That's when she noticed an old woman sitting on a bench near a fountain. She had silver hair and wore a simple yet elegant dress. Her eyes were closed as she took in the sunlight, a peaceful smile on her face. Something about her presence was calming, almost magnetic. Daniela found herself drawn to her, without really understanding why. Beautiful day, isn't it? The woman said, opening her eyes and glancing at Daniela as she approached. Daniela smiled shyly. Yeah, it is. Just taking a walk. The woman motioned for her to sit. I'm Clara, she said softly, though she wasn't the same Clara Daniela had been texting with earlier. And you are? Daniela. Clara studied her for a moment, then nodded. You seem a bit lost, Daniela. Daniela was taken aback. I'm not lost. I'm just stuck, I guess. Clara gave a knowing smile. Ah, I see. Stuck in what exactly? Daniela hesitated. I'm a writer. Or I was. I used to have all these ideas, but now I can't seem to finish anything. I don't know what happened, but it feels like... I don't know, I've lost my way. Clara nodded, her gaze soft but intense. I've been there, you know. Many years ago, I was where you are now. I felt like I was running in circles, unable to break free from the same old patterns of doubt and fear. Daniela looked at her curiously. What did you do? Clara chuckled lightly. Well, I didn't have all the answers back then, but I'll tell you what helped me. She sat up straighter, her eyes twinkling as she spoke. One day, I found an old mirror in an antique shop. It was beautiful, framed with intricate designs, and it caught my attention. I was drawn to it immediately. I bought it, and when I brought it home, I realized something amazing. Daniela leaned forward, intrigued. What did you realize? Clara smiled warmly. I realized that the mirror wasn't just reflecting my appearance. It was reflecting my possibilities. For the first time I saw beyond who I thought I was and who I had been. I saw who I could become. Someone capable of anything. Daniela blinked, trying to understand. But how does a mirror change your life? Clara's expression grew serious. The mirror wasn't magic, Daniela. It was simply a tool to help me see myself differently. Sometimes we get so caught up in the stories we tell ourselves, the ones where we're not good enough, where we failed too many times, where we're stuck. But the truth is, those stories don't have to define us. She leaned closer, her voice low but firm. You're not stuck, Daniela. You're just looking at yourself through the wrong lens. And if you change the way you see yourself, everything else will shift. Daniela sat back, processing the words. It was like Clara had handed her a key, something she could use to unlock the door she had been standing in front of for so long. How do I change the way I see myself? Daniela asked quietly. Clara smiled again. You start by being kinder to yourself. You stop expecting perfection. You start showing up every day, even if it's just a small step forward. And most importantly, you learn to believe that you are capable of growth, of change, of success, no matter how small the progress seems. Daniela felt a spark of hope flicker in her chest. I think I understand. Clara stood up and stretched her arms toward the sky. Sometimes, the first step is simply letting go of the pressure to have everything figured out. The second step is trusting that you have the ability to figure it out, one day at a time. As Clara turned to leave, she added, the mirror is waiting for you. It's up to you to look into it and see your own potential. Daniela watched her walk away, a sense of clarity washing over her. The park seemed brighter, the air fresher. She had come here searching for answers, but now she realized the answers were within her all along. It wasn't about waiting for the perfect moment or having everything neatly in place. It was about embracing the journey, trusting herself, and taking small steps forward, no matter how uncertain the path seemed. Daniela made her way back home with a renewed sense of purpose. She didn't have all the answers yet, but she knew one thing. She was ready to look in the mirror and see the possibility. And that, she realized, was the first step toward becoming the person she was meant to be. And that, she realized, was the first step toward becoming the person she was meant to be.